Iuka, Mississippi is the county seat of Tishomingo County, and just south of here is Woodall Mountain, the highest point in the great state of Mississippi. But we find ourselves here today in Mineral Springs Park. Iuka is one of my favorite places to visit in this part of the state, and well, this park is one of my favorite places in Iuka. Not only do they teach you how to fold the flag here, they have a pretty incredible, what I call a Veterans Memorial Park tucked inside Mineral Springs. Mineral Springs Park, that is. I'm astounded by how they present so much education and, well, history in this little memorial park. As you can see, they go to great details on how to properly fold the American flag and what each fold represents. For instance, the third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks and who gave a portion of his or her life for the defense of our country to obtain peace throughout the world. If you want to see the rest of these, I really encourage you to visit this little park and take it all in. Now, just across the way, they have a set of memorial plaques that honor veterans from each of our major conflicts. They paid tribute to September 11th and World War I, and probably my favorite plaque in memory of all World War II veterans. Outside of the Civil War, World War II had the highest rate of death at 405,399. World War I had 116,516 deaths. The Vietnam War had 58,209. Korean War had 36,574. We lost around 25,000 in the Revolutionary War, 15,000 in the War of 1812, 13,283 in the Mexican War, and let's not forget the POW MIA servicemen and women. I'm really not doing this little park justice, but I just had to show it to you because I found it to be a nice surprise. We came to Iuka today because I wanted to show my kids, or we wanted to see what was left of the Mineral Springs, and I wanted to show my kids what I think is the only operational covered bridge in the state of Mississippi. But first, let's get to the Mineral Springs. You know, there really is no limit to the hidden gems in Mississippi, and this little park is certainly one of those. And if you're anywhere close, I really think this place is a must-see or a must-do visit. This park dates back centuries and has a great combination of Mississippi history and mythology. There are 6 natural springs that can be found in Mineral Springs Park. And Chief Iuka, a Chickasaw Indian chief, once found himself incredibly sick. His tribal doctors, we'll call them, were not able to find a cure for what ailed him. Only as a last resort, his tribe carried him to these natural springs, which were rumored to have curative powers. After drinking from these springs, the chief was cured. Naturally, word of his recovery quickly spread around. And wouldn't you know it, Iuka, the town, which is named in his honor, sprang up around the healing waters. The town grew and attracted the Memphis and Charleston Railroad. Mineral Springs Park was established in the 1840s and became really popular after the yellow fever epidemic seemed to pass right over Iuka, because many attributed this directly to the springs you see before you now. Rich and wealthy came to the park from all over the country, and eventually pavilions were built over the springs so that people could access them more comfortably and drink the water. Iuka's water was voted the best water in the United States at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. The park remained popular until the start of World War I, and visitors became scarce. Then came the Depression, and the park seemed to fall apart. During the 1970s, the park was restored, and 3 of the 6 springs were returned to their operational status. The water has been tested, and each spring is found to have different healing abilities. They can treat everything from anemia to stomach viruses. But the masterpiece of the park for me is this old covered bridge. It goes across Spring Creek and seems to be still fully operational. This charming little relic from the past, as far as I can tell, is the only covered bridge not located on private property in the state. I think the beauty of this place is astounding in the summer, but I can't imagine how it must look in the fall, or winter or spring for that matter. Unfortunately for me, it was hard to find a lot of historical detail about this bridge. I'm not real sure as to its date of construction, but I'm pretty sure it was damaged and repaired in the early 1900s. And I've seen it mentioned a couple places that Chief Iuka's grave is found not very far from this park. Well, if you stuck with me this far, why don't you bump that like button and check back with us from time to time for interesting stories about the great state of Mississippi and her people. One last thing I almost forgot about this bridge is that covered bridges were probably built to provide safe passage for travelers across the bridge, of course, in all sorts of weather. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your visit to Mineral Springs Park and the old covered bridge today, and maybe you'll come check it out for yourself sometime and have a great time exploring a little bit of Mississippi history. Thank you.